Peace, mercy, and blessing of Allah be upon you, my dear students. Today we are learning from the Reading Street book the story of Juan Verdades, the man who couldn't tell a lie. Last time we learned some characters from this story and we learned some events. The characters are Don Ignacio, Don Artero, and Juan Verdades. And last time we learned that Don Artero challenged Don Ignacio to let Juan Verdades to tell a lie. Let's move on. On page 430, let's listen and try to get more characters and more events.
The other ranchers laughed when they heard that. "Oh, Don Arturo," they said, "now we'll see just how sure you are that you're right." "As sure as I am of my own name," said Don Arturo. "I accept the bet, Don Ignacio, but you must allow me the freedom to try anything I wish." The two friends shook hands, and the other men in the group agreed to serve as witnesses to the bet. The gathering broke up, and Don Arturo and Don Ignacio rode confidently away toward their ranches.
So now there is a challenge or a bet between Don Ignacio and Don Arturo, and this bet or challenge witnessed by the other ranchers. Now Don Arturo is going back home.
But as Don Arturo rode along thinking of what he had just done, he no longer felt so sure of himself. When he arrived home and told his wife and daughter about the bet, his wife began to cry. "What will we do when we lose our ranch?" she sobbed, and Don Arturo began to think he had made a terrible mistake.
So now what happened when he got home and told his wife and daughter what happened? They felt that they are in a very big problem. They start crying and sobbing and so on. Let's move to the next page, page 431.
But his daughter, whose name was Araceli, and who was a very bright and lively young woman, just laughed and said, "Don't worry, Mama."
So here we have a new character, okay? Don Ortega's daughter, Araceli. Here, this girl is a very smart one. Let's see what is she doing.
"We're not going to lose our ranch." Araceli suggested to her father that he make up some excuse for them all to spend the next 2 weeks at Don Ignacio's house. "If we're staying on Don Ignacio's ranch," she said, "we'll surely discover a way to come out the winners." The next day...
So now she told her that to win this bet, to win this challenge, we should stay the next 2 weeks where on Don Ignacio's ranch, in his house, to be so near to Juan Verdades.
Next day, Don Arturo rode to Don Ignacio's ranch and told his friend, "My men are mending the walls of my house and giving them a fresh coat of whitewash. It would be more convenient for my family to be away. Could my wife and daughter and I stay at your house for a while?" Of course.
Now Don Arturo pretended that his house is under fixing and reconstructing, painting and so on, and he asked his friend to stay with him. Of course, Don Ignacio is a good man, so he's going to accept this.
"Of course, my friend," Don Ignacio answered. "Feel perfectly free." That afternoon, Don Arturo and his family moved into Don Ignacio's house, and the next morning Araceli rose at dawn, as she always did at home, and went to the ranch kitchen to prepare coffee. The foreman, Juan Verdades, was already there, drinking a cup of coffee he had made for himself and eating a breakfast of leftover tortillas. She smiled at him, and he greeted her politely. "Buenos dias, señorita." And then he finished his simple breakfast and went off to begin his day's work. That night, Don Arturo and his daughter made up a plan. Araceli rose before dawn the next day and went to the kitchen to prepare coffee and fresh tortillas for the foreman. She smiled sweetly as she offered them to Juan. He returned her smile and thanked her very kindly. Each morning she did the same thing, and Juan Verdades began to fall in love with Araceli, which was just what the girl and her father expected.
So now Araceli started to be so near to Juan Verdades, talk to him, give him some cookies or some foods, and meet him every morning, every early morning, to talk with him for a while.
What Araceli hadn't expected was that she began to fall in love with Juan Verdades too, and looked forward to getting up early every morning just to be alone with him. She even began to wish she might end up marrying the handsome young foreman. Araceli continued to work on the plan she and her father had made, but she now had a plan of her own as well.
So now they are working well on their plan, and they are planning to let Juan that is still alive, but what's going to happen we will see next time. And now please move to your notebook, page 214, conventions. Conventions today is about some troublesome verbs. Troublesome, yeah, confusing verbs. Verbs that can create some problems, some troubles for you if you didn't memorize them. We need to memorize all these verbs to avoid the troubles. Troublesome verbs, some pairs of verbs are troublesome verbs because what? They look alike or have similar meanings. Let's start. The verb sit down. This is the meaning. Let's see the present, past, and past participle forms. Sit, sat, sat. Past participle always comes after what, has, have, had. The next one, sit, the same pronunciation, but the meaning is put or place. And the present, sit, past, sit, past participle, sit, the same one. So sit, the same pronunciation, but different meanings and different forms of present, past, and past participle. Lie, rest or recline. The present, lie, lay, lean. And here, lie, put or place. Lie, laid, laid. Rise, get or move up. Rise, rose, rising like the sun. Get or move up. Raise, lift something up. Raise, raised, raised, like raise your hand. Let, allow or permit. Let. Leave, go away. Leave, left. Lend, give, use of. Lend, lent. Borrow, get from someone, to take something from someone or from a place for some time. Borrow, borrowed. Teach, show how. Teach, taught. Learn, find out. So I am teaching, but you are learning. Learn, learned. So it's better to memorize all these verbs to avoid the troubles from them. Exercise 1, direction, underline the correct verb in each sentence. She had risen the window in the kitchen. So she has raised. she has raised because the window didn't go up alone. 2. Don Arturo has lain awake many nights. Let's go here. If you don't know her, laid, rest or recline or put or place. So this one. So yes, lain. Araceli learned her friend Juan a good lesson. Yes, excellent. Taught. Number 4. Sit the silverware on the table. Yeah, not okay. It means put, place the silverware. So sit, excellent. 5. The wealthy ranchers have sit in the village plaza. Have what? Huh. Sat. Excellent. Next exercise. Complete each sentence with the correct verb from the list above. 6. Will you space me some money until next Tuesday? So you will take something from someone. So will you? Yes. Lend. Okay. Will you lend? You ask someone to lend you, to give you. Okay. Yesterday, Juan spaced his house and went to the fields. Which one? Left. Excellent. The men in the village spaced from their chairs when it was time to go home. Rose from their chairs. Okay. Yesterday, Ms. Cortez spaced us, the Spanish word for apple, so taught. The last one space me go out to the orchard to pick fruit from the trees. Yes, let me go out. So, my dear students, again, these verbs are troublesome verbs, so we need to memorize them and study them well, understanding the meaning and memorize the 3 forms of the verbs. Thank you and see you soon.